Hello and welcome back to round 2 of a legendary cube draft where we face off against Tony Almeida. And this hand looks decent. Decent enough to keep. We even have one of our few blue sources for this Azuri, which could make it out on a turn early if we wanted to play Mind Stone, but as it is, I think we'll just play Sylvan Ranger. And that sets us up to play Azuri and Farhaven Elf and so forth. So let's grab a forest. We'll be able to get our plains eventually. Or that's the plan anyway. Ooh, Raphelos. The problem with Raphelos is he could die, but I guess that's always true, isn't it? Yeah, this one's a bit weird. Tell you what, I'll cast Raphelos and hope hope it lives. Against blue-red, it's a good chance it does not live. But to be honest, I don't know what burn spells there are in these colors over here. Okay, so what happens this turn? We get to play Farhaven Elf and then tap Raphelos for 3 to cast Azuri. And that might be just about as good as we can do this turn. Yeah, or we could go ahead and grab a Plains and then tap for Mind Stone. How does that set us up? That's 4, 5, 6, 7 next turn, which is Zendikar Resurgent, or with another Plains. It's Elish Norn. That's a tough one. Let's get Azuri out. So, as long as we don't get wiped next turn, we're gonna do good things. We're going places here. I don't believe this is lethal next turn, but it might be if we draw a green. Ooh, Chandra. Well, that kills Raphelos. But then we get to crack back and hit Chandra. And that was a great draw. So what's the best way to play this turn? We can equip Sword, but we can't equip Sword and play Mind Stone. So let's just equip Sword, and we can put that on, I don't know, our weakest creature here, Farhaven Elf. And it's when it attacks at all. So what we'll do is send 1 damage at our opponent and 4 at Chandra. Yeah, we'll use this, and at some point we want to get 2 plains in play. It's a bit of a shame the turn before we couldn't have held up a single green mana for Azuri's ability. Regenerate Raphelos, that would have been a strong play. But we're ramping as hard as possible, using up all our mana every turn. Okay, so no mana was used, so our opponent's back down to 3 for our turn. Tapping creatures. Ooh, Cyclonic Rift. Now, we're not lethal by activating Azuri. 3, 4, 5... So that's not worth it. I'll just let Azuri come back. And this is pretty good. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not quite enough. But Mind Stone sets this up well for next turn. X the number of experience counters you have. There's the battlefield under your control. Does this count himself? No, I guess it can't because he has power 2 or greater. We could spend 5 mana this turn. Just thinking through all the options that we still have. Let's cast Azuri. Then if Azuri is dealt with, he's the right man here. If Azuri is dealt with, we get to cast Elish Norn, and that should be pretty good too. Yeah, let's grab, I guess, another Plains. No, I'm going to do Forest. We can even afford to crack Mind Stone if it comes down to it. Forest was good there because Azuri's ability, second ability, is green intensive, and we'll have an extra green left over. Alright, don't need to draw off Mind Stone. But what we can do, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is lethal if we activate Azuri. So, is that worth it? Right, well, let's go to combat first of all. And if things get tapped or bounced or removed, then we'll just have to deal with that. 5, and we'll still have 4 mana left over to cast, like, Azuri. The second Azuri. So which one's earlier? This one, I guess I don't know where this one's from. Some commander set. Prophetic Bolt. 4 damage to target creature or player. So let's regenerate it, but that does remove it from combat, so is that even worth it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ugh. Regenerate it, yeah. Let's do that. Four, 5, 6, 7. And then we can still get in 10 damage this turn. And that should be enough to make things difficult for our opponent next turn. Leave up a green. I could have left up 2 green, that would have been smarter. So this is removed from combat. Opponent takes 10. Yes, we'll get another land. And that's it for our turn. Yeah, whenever your opponent has 6 cards in hand and leaves up 6 mana without doing anything, they have a trick. They have something. You know, assuming they're staring down lethal, or even if they're staring down any kind of attack. The only time they wouldn't do anything, or when you wouldn't do anything, is if there's like a 1/1 creature and they can deal with it, they just choose not to because they're saving their good spells for, you know, your better creatures. In the face of a lethal attack like this, of course, Prophetic Bolt has to destroy something. And it was pointed at the weak one because it can't destroy a 5/5. This could be a good game here. There's a few spells that return all of our stuff to our hands, but one of them's already been used earlier. Maybe there's some red spell or black spell that kills everything. Crux of Fate. Who knows? Dark Petition. Well, after this resolves, there'll be, yeah, 5 mana. Crush of Tentacles. Okay. So that is one of the things we could have been worried about. Yeah, the mana there might have been better. Okay, what can we do this turn? 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I like, hold on. 7, 8, 9. Okay. Six. We can play Zendikar Resurgent, Sylvan Ranger for 2 mana, and that gets us another mana, or another land into our hand, rather. So it doesn't really matter what we get. We could get Island and play Zuri, or we could get Plains and play just anything else. Or we could play Forest and just play that. So Forest. And what to play here? Okay, let's play out Eidolon. So that was another creature spell. When it enters, we'll draw a card, then we'll have to discard a ton of cards. Okay, we can discard Temple of Plenty, because we have all the cards we need, we just need the mana to play them, and we want the mana as soon as possible. So scrying isn't as valuable. We can also give up on the Nomad Captain. The boost isn't going to be powerful. And one more. Okay, get rid of an island. I'd be surprised if this game lasted too much longer, since we have effectively 2 lethal creatures in play this turn. This Crush of Tentacles, this is a real house in this cube. This annoying little octopus over here. Given that our opponent probably has a way to deal with our creatures, yeah, I'll take 8 here. If they had a way to deal with our creatures, they would have done it pre-attack. Or if they had a free way to deal with our creatures, they would have done it pre-attack. So they probably have a way to deal with them that they would have rather I just blocked with the Sylvan Ranger. So I'll take the hit of 8 there. You know, unless this is just another blocker. Turn all non-land permanents to their owner's hand. So they killed their own octopus, and that makes sense to just attack with it. Okay, so now we have even more land. Did we lose our... Where did our thing go? Here's Zendikar Resurgent. The most overcosted Mirari's Wake effect of them all. We'll play that out again. So we now have 8 mana to deal with. And we played a land already, I believe. Confirm that. Yeah, we played a Plains. So, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we still might as well play Sylvan Ranger, because it's our one of our only 2 drops. And I'm not going to use the ability, because it's possible we just need all the cards in our deck that we can get. Okay, so let's go down 1 Trading Post and 1 Sword of the Animist. As long as all of our permanents don't get bounced once more, I think we should be okay. Oh, no way. Dregs of Sorrow. Alright, alright, alright. So now we'll be adding, I guess, 3 mana for each thing we tap. Play this thing. Yeah, let's find a forest. I suppose I could play this and flip our thing and add a green thing into play. Elish Norn and some creatures. So if all of our stuff gets bounced, we might still be in bad shape here. But hopefully not everything gets bounced. Oh shoot, I don't want that. Let's get Hero's Podium out. Alright, that should be enough. Combat, where X is the number of experience counters. We don't have any experience counters, so that's no big deal. None of our creatures are going to be small enough when they enter to activate Azuri's trigger. So all of our creatures are lethal, and then some. So it's just a matter of being able to attack once. And I guess we can keep in mind that our opponent can give a creature first strike. It's funny you don't see more of these lands around, these legendary lands that don't come into play tapped but have some ability. The main reason to not see them is they're not fetchable. If this was a mountain, then yeah, it'd be the real deal. So our main concern is decking ourselves, so we'll try not to play too many more creatures. It's surprising that we're sort of not able to win yet. But there you have it. Don't really have a way to shuffle. No, we do have this. Praetor's Council. Trading Post doesn't really do it. Yeah, there's no good way. There's no good way to avoid decking ourselves. Alright. I'll block it. Cool. Oh, Unearth! No! Oh, God. Of course. Wasn't thinking. So there might still be a chance, but it's not a great one. Need to cast as few lethal creatures as possible. Wow. Actually, since that returns Zendikar Resurgent, all hope is not lost here. It's so hard to pay for anything. I just won't use this. No. And what else? Some other stuff. Whoops. Turn a land. Put a creature into play. And please let this be enough. Yeah, don't need these lands. Don't need Hero's Podium. I can't believe I fell for that Unearth. Part of being unfamiliar with this cube. Like, what a strange attack. Tormenting Voice. We've got sort of 2 turns left to survive this onslaught. And it wasn't the worst that Zendikar Resurgent got returned. If there was another way our opponent could have swept our board without sweeping the Resurgent back to our hands, then we couldn't really play more creatures without decking ourselves. So it might have been a blessing in disguise there. I mean, I doubt it. It would probably more likely to win if we didn't block, but there's some upside there. I mean, our opponent must have some cards over there. They're just wondering what gives them the best chance, which way of dealing with our creatures is the most efficient. All Sun's Dawn. Oh no. So that means we're getting bounced again? Is that how that works? Crush of Tentacles again. Why? Okay, well, if we screw up again, maybe this goes poorly for us. So what can we do? Let's cast some creatures. Let's cast some creatures. Specifically creatures that don't make us lose the game. Add another white. 5. If we had one more elf in play, this might be going better for us. We can, actually, I think we can do this. So let's cast, this is a 7, 5, 6, 7, no, we need one more. That doesn't quite work. Well, whatever, play Elshnorn. So, one more turn. Cruel Ultimatum. Sacrifices a creature, discards 3 cards, return a creature from your graveyard to your hand. Sacrifice a creature. Okay, let's sacrifice our weak creature. Discard some cards that we have no intention of using. Cards that lose us the game, like Eidolon of Blossoms. And Prophetic Boltus. Yeah, we threw that game. Isn't that something? And we died to damage, not getting ourselves decked, so let's try to tighten things up and play a bit better. Yeah, deck looks good. Looks fine like it is. The only consideration would be adding more... Just adding more... yeah, intense game. Cards to the deck. I'll play first here. Try to get a jump. Can keep this. It's kind of like a 6-card hand with the Kythian that we can't play. But that's okay. It's so easy to make misplays in a format you're unfamiliar with like this, but it usually happens on both sides. And it can be avoided by taking a bit more time and thinking about things, but only to a certain extent. This is flavorful, though. We get to cast the Vastwood Seer and her sword. Actually, I like Farhaven Elf a bit better to begin with. Yeah, we'll get a Plains. If dealt with, it's not as bad for us. Burnished Heart, nice. Well, to begin with, let's start activating this guy. And we can get maybe our second Plains. So for now, we'll just always yield to this. We'll get plains, and that should deal some damage. Then we can play Kytheon. Oh, that was wrong. Well, what can you do, I guess? I forgot I had the land drop that turn, so I should have played Nissa maybe. But she can come down next turn and flip immediately. So here we go. Careful not to mess this up again. Why did I switch? Yeah, this should still work. We'll grab... Ooh, we can get an island? Oh yeah, sorry, I'm thinking of Nissa, who only grabs forests. Yep, we'll trade if you want, but you'll probably just sacrifice that and get some lands of your own over there. Play out Nissa first, so we do want her to flip. So let her flip out, make a creature, and this time we'll leave sword in the right place. Just somewhere unassuming, like on our 1/1. So if all goes well, our opponent's on a 2-turn clock, but they do have 5 or 6 mana available this turn. So Duretti, that's a pretty nice one. Ooh, Bosch. They don't have an artifact to sacrifice yet, but next turn, well, next turn they could play an artifact and bring back Bosch. Let's do some magic with Nissa here. Verdaloth, cool. It's likely that we get swept next turn, like all of our creatures and things come back to our hand. So I'm not sure what the best play is. So 8, we're doing 8 here. Saproling, another tree folk. Well, none of these count. This is not a tree folk, so it doesn't get helped by Verdaloth. Let's cast this first. Maybe we'll draw something that can pump up our team. Did not quite get there. Oh, yeah, let's get rid of Duretti while we're at it. So, attack Duretti, and attack Tony. Because if they don't have the bounce effect yet, it just gets worse for us. Up to 1 target creature, untap target creature, make it indestructible. Let's do that to Ashaya. If we knew we were getting all of our permanents bounced, well, I guess it just doesn't matter. Anyway, what we do... Yeah, here's Crush of Tentacles, but for no real value except to survive another turn. Because we can play all of our stuff. We just cast a huge Verdaloth. That is one option, certainly. Yeah, I think that's just going to be the play. So we'll cast Kytheon. Okay. Oh, well, sometimes your opponent leaves because of reasons outside of the game. I wonder if they'll concede or if we'll have to wait out the 10 minutes. Okay, wins the match. Nice, well, we snuck our way into the finals, even after punting a little bit game 1. So, see you in the finals.